Hi guys, my name is Pure Madonsela, author of How I Aced Matric, Making Distinctions Fashionable. You can get a copy of this book by sending through your request on 064-685-9475. Remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel and share the videos. Today I want to talk about university readiness. With the release of the results for the class of 2019 coming closer, we see that the schools and the learners have been investing for 12 years for the learners to be academically ready. So I want to do a series of videos that will cover through the different elements of what university readiness is about and how that affects academic performance. So this video is going to cover the topic of accommodation as a factor or element of being university ready. When you go through the application process, we are advised that we need to request or apply for university accommodation, as it's the most convenient form of accommodation. So I'm going to be going through the different types of accommodation available and how they translate to academic performance. Number one, the university accommodation, which is known as RES, has the advantage of being conducive for learning and studying and being close to resources. In its own nature, it's designed to enable learning and ensure that academic performance is priority. But there are other disadvantages that come through with staying in RES. For example, first year activities, they tend to take up a lot of your time and they become mentally and physically demanding due to the nature of the activities that are involved. But there's also a good side to it because you are able to integrate, make friends quicker, especially for the type that is very shy and like the corner space. They are stimulated to start conversation with people and at least know a few people within RES, as they would not voluntarily do that on their own. But the disadvantage of those activities also is that when you don't understand what is required of you academically to occupy space the following year, and you devote a lot of your time or efforts towards the activities and not create balance between the two, you will find yourself without rest the following year and you will need to start looking for other forms of accommodation. So it's a matter of finding balance and also creating a culture of academic or self-independence. So you need to rely on yourself for learning so that you are able to get through a lot of work due to the nature of the activities that are involved within your first year activities. But there's also private accommodation, which can be of benefit if you occupy. For example, you are in control of your time. So when you're in control of your time, you are able to determine or decide when you study and for how long, as compared to somebody else being in control of your time, which is what happens with when you stay in RES, especially with the first year activities. But the disadvantage of that is that you incur transport fees that are determined by the distance between where you stay and campus. So you will have to have money daily to cover the transport fees, and also the rental fee is required on a monthly basis, as compared to staying in university residences where it may not be required on a monthly basis. But the disadvantage of that is that it accumulates and it becomes a huge lump sum at the end of the year. So but you have temporary peace of not having to worry about monthly rent on a monthly basis. The other disadvantage of staying in private accommodation is that you are far from resources that other learners get to enjoy or take advantage of that are staying within campus or university premises. The other option, which is only available to a few, is staying with family. So if your family is close to the university you go to, you can stay with family or relatives, and that's where you only have transport costs. Your food is already covered at home, and also your rent is also covered. With all these options, there are two things that will happen. It's either you will stay alone or you will stay with a roommate. So when you stay with a roommate, there is an advantage of having a study partner, having somebody to have conversations with, as you are used to a family setup. So that will relieve anxiety that you might feel because of how you miss home and how you are so far away from home, in a foreign province, in a foreign setup, in a new setup altogether. So when you have somebody that you stay with, it does create that warmth and that sense of homey, depending on the relationship that you have with your roommate. But there are disadvantages as well, because sometimes you find that you find a very noisy roommate that is always bringing people over. So you need to have some ground rules on how that is gonna go about, so that you respect each other's space and each other's privacy as well. There's also clash of preferences, with one preferring to sleep with the light on, or one preferring to sleep with the light on, or one wants to sleep with the light off while the other one is studying. So you need to understand who you stay with and how their lifestyle is going to affect your academic performance. There is an issue of the level of tidiness. Some people are more neater than others, so you need to be considerate as well on how your untidiness is affecting the next person. But also when you stay alone, you may enjoy your own space, you may have full control over the setup, but sometimes with not being used to that setup, it can create a lot of anxiety, and may negatively impact your studies. So it's a matter of understanding why you left home and how you manage your time and manage the resources that for the very first time in your life have the authority to oversee becomes very crucial. So whether or not you are successful depends on how you conduct yourself within your first year of studying. So I'm gonna be doing another video or other videos on the other issues that build up the structure of being university ready. So until next time, don't stop when you're tired, stop when you're done. Mwah.